Hey everybody, thanks for coming to our Come Skype with Me webinar. We're going to go ahead and get started. So if you'll bear with me just a second, I will be sharing my screen with you. Well, I'm trying to get there, friends. It's not letting me share very well. That's laid plans, right? I can't get back. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So welcome to our Skype in the Classroom. If you want to know, what is Skype in the Classroom? Skype in the Classroom is this awesome online community that brings together educators to help inspire and open up the world to our students. Today I'm going to go ahead and try to divide this webinar into 3 little segments: before a Skype in the Classroom lesson, during a Skype in the Classroom lesson, and after a Skype in the classroom lesson. Oh, and I'm so sorry, my moderator for today is Princess Netherly. So if you have any questions, she is on moderating for us. Feel free to type it in the chat room, and we will try to get to those as soon as we can. And at the end of this lesson, we will be posting a link for your credit. All right, and I am going to go ahead and try to share my screen one more time. Worked earlier, but it's not really working at the moment. So I'm going to screen share, so bear with me. Open up another link. I think that should have gotten it. Let's give it just a second because it has a slight delay. All right. Now, like I was saying, this is Skype in the Classroom. Before you can participate in Skype in the Classroom, you have to build a profile. And to build a profile, you have to go to the education.microsoft.com website. Since Skype in the Classroom is all about the human connection, once you register in the community of education.microsoft.com, you will be centrally located with a whole bunch of other teachers and people in the education field. And it will help you to find other people to connect with, or classrooms to connect with. Okay, let me show you. Once you register for this community, this is what you will see. This is your Skype in the Classroom home page. And this is just a screenshot of my home page. You'll notice on the side, there's tons in this. Microsoft recently changed some things, and Skype in the Classroom used to be its own little self, but now it's located under the Education tab. Skype in the Classroom is the blue tab on this page. Okay. Once you have registered for Skype in the Classroom, you have to go and download Skype. When you go to download Skype, you should have the free Skype software downloaded. There's no reason to pay for any Skype downloads. Once you have downloaded the Skype software and installed it ahead of time, which is the key to a successful call, things should work properly. But with any technology, there's also always going to be a learning curve. And it's always best to have tested your Skype before you get a Skype in the classroom call. When you're setting up your Skype in the classroom, your Skype account, if you go all the way down on the Microsoft page that you've landed on when you are doing Skype in the classroom, all the way down, there's a little, just a little statement that says, want to sign up for Skype with your school email? Go ahead and you would click there. And I have a little slide showing you where you're going to click. You can use your school email to register. So you don't have to make up anything. That helps when you are trying to set up your Skype. It's already a professional username. Always remember that usernames are visible during calls. So everyone always suggests just create an account that you're going to solely use for school. Once you have set this up and you've verified everything, you are set to go and start searching for a new Skype experience for your classroom. To do that, you would go back to the previous page, which is the Skype in the Classroom page. Once you're on the Skype in the Classroom page, there are 5 different Skype experience ways that you can search for an experience to bring Skype into your classroom. When you access the Skype in the Classroom database, you're going to just find tons and tons of learning experiences for your students. The experiences are endless. When you're searching for them, I would suggest searching for them by yourself, because as soon as your students see them, they want to go on all of the Skype experiences that they see. You and your students are going to be able to connect with other students from around the world, talk to an author, which we actually did back on Dr. Seuss's birthday, talk to an engineer. That would come in handy during STEAM. You could talk to a computer scientist, or venture around the world to go to a sloth sanctuary in Costa Rica, or a sea turtle hospital in Key West. You can even do some virtual farming in Kenya, or even learn about penguins from Cape Town, South Africa, which is what my students are going to be doing on April 18th. Like I said, there are 5 ways that you can bring Skype into the classroom. You can bring Skype in through Skype lessons, Skype collaborations, virtual field trips, guest speakers, and mystery Skype. And we actually got a request for a mystery Skype today, so we're kind of excited about that. First, a Skype lesson is a predefined lesson that has been given over Skype by experts. The experts could be a computer scientist, a zoologist, a doctor, a farmer. Virtual field trips are just exciting adventures to go on with experts in the field. And once again, those are experts in the field. Some of the ones that you can go on would be to talk to a park ranger in Yosemite National Park. There are dives that your students can go on at the Great Barrier Reef. And like I said, it's endless, and they're constantly updating the virtual field trips that you can attend. And the best thing about these virtual field trips and this whole thing, it's all free. You can have a Skype collaboration as one of the 5 ways to bring Skype into the classroom. Skype collaborations are run by teachers, and it's used for students to collaborate on projects. Mystery Skypes are next. Mystery Skypes are yes-no guessing games that you can play with another class in our country or even in another country. A lot of times, mystery Skypes can be done with numbers for the younger children. It can be done with geography. You name it, it can be done. But it is a yes-no guessing game that 2 classes play with each other. And the final way to bring in Skype in the classroom is through guest speakers. And once again, experts will connect with you or you connect with them, and you're going to be talking about their areas of expertise. One thing I could say about Skype in the classroom is you have to plan ahead. Some things are very obvious, and we all know that the best lessons take some time, some preparation time. Skype in the classroom experience are the same. Things do not happen overnight in the Skype world. Mystery Skypes can take a few days to schedule, while guest speakers and virtual field trips can take several weeks or even a month to nail down all the specifics. Just keep checking back with your community on Skype in the classroom for updates. Our next section I want to go on to is during the lesson. During the lessons, I teach 2nd grade. I can suggest to you, let your kids get the giggles out. I've had several Skypes in my classroom before I even learned about Skype in the classroom. And one thing I did learn was my students constantly want to make faces and wave and giggle as they see themselves in the small picture that's projected on the screen. And I usually don't like to hush or shush my students during our Skype calls because it'll oftentimes change the tone of my classroom and my kids will be afraid to speak up. So once a flowing Skype becomes stale and your kids are not learning, they're too quiet, just try not to rush them or shush them and just let them get the giggles out. Have like 1 second where we come on, say hello to our guest speaker, we wave, they smile, and we go on with our Skype. During the lesson, we always have to set our objective. So before and even during the call, it's important that you let your students know the objective of the call, and it's okay to remind them during the lesson. And this also lets your caller know exactly what you're hoping to gain from the Skype experience. The third thing during a lesson is just to be interactive. The best Skype calls that I've experienced are the ones where the students and teachers interact with the other side of the call. If you're playing mystery Skype, it's okay to laugh and cheer and encourage a bit of competition. If you're listening to a guest speaker, engage with questions and comments. And if you take a virtual field trip, ooh and ah, all you want. And these types of interactions really do make the experience more meaningful for everyone and foster a sense of excitement for when the next call will be. During the lesson, I try to expand the experience. Teachable moments happen every day. They do that. They do the same in the Skype world as well. Don't be afraid to expand the lesson as it seems okay to do. I always look for those moments and capture as many as possible so that the experience goes above and beyond our wildest dreams. I try to share our Skype excitement for our Skypes with other teachers in the building by tweeting to let them know what we're doing and how fun our Skype-tastic adventures have been. Another very, very important part of a Skype call is just to have fun. I think this is one of the most important parts of the Skype call. Skyping is an enormous amount of fun for your class. I'm always trying to be upbeat and engaging, and I've learned that with my own enthusiasm, it becomes contagious with my class and even the speakers. I always try to put aside my fears of not being able to connect the curriculum just the exact way that I want to, and the fears that technology crashes or the what ifs. And I always just try to remember a bad Skype call is always better than a good worksheet any day. After the lesson, I like to follow up. At the end of the Skype classroom call, always make sure that I email a personal thank you to the person on the other end of the call. They invested in my students, and they deserve a bit of praise and thanks for their time. It's also a good time to show your students it's okay to thank people for doing nice things for you. This is also a time I always try to post pictures and comments to social media such as Twitter, if your students are allowed to be photographed. And I just used this time also to spread a little more excitement about what we were doing. I try to tweet, or I use balloons, and I let my parents know, hey, this is what went on in class. Your child went to Kenya today and did some virtual farming, or we've traveled to Cape Town, South Africa. After the lesson, just be sure to reflect on the Skype call. When I first began to Skype, I didn't keep a journal of my Skype experiences, but I do this now. My journal entries consist of the time and the date and who was the call from, as well as the positive outcomes that I felt and weaknesses that I should improve on during the next call. I also let my students keep journals of the calls in their writing notebook so that they can refer back to their thoughts and memories at any time. This also will allow them to use the same journal entry page to write questions that they might have unanswered, and it could lead into a little research on our half or a new Skype call that can help answer those questions. I always try to give my students a voice when that's not part of our world that they live in every day. They usually have many thoughts and emotions and questions. I've seen my students become empathetic to things that they see and hear on the Skype call. And I always try to allow my students to have time to talk about and to process their thoughts after Skyping in the classroom. My motto is, don't stop the learning, just go with the flow. After the lesson, I always try to schedule another Skype experience in my classroom. My kids are always wanting another experience. Skyping has become addictive to them. One Skype a year just won't do in my class. I encourage everyone to go ahead and venture out of the safety of our four walls in our classroom. Students love to Skype. And from my experiences, the parents love the excitement that the students are coming home with. After a recent call to Australia to a friend on Dr. Seuss's birthday, my entire class suddenly became experts on roos, koalas, Vegemite sandwiches, and camels who are actually indigenous to Australia. Didn't know that. The more you Skype, the more your students will beg for more. Once they see penguins in Antarctica, or talk to nurses in Australia, or grow veggies with farmers in Kenya, the learning opportunities you begin to realize are just learning opportunities that are endless. And I'd like to end this presentation with the top 10 reasons to Skype from teachers who already Skype in the classroom. Number one, Skyping builds a community, a classroom community. It teaches empathy for others. It invites collaboration skills, and it grows communication skills. It utilizes innovative technology and involves real-world scenarios. It takes our students to places that they may never get to go to, and creates problem solvers and engages every student. Even my wiggliest student is always engaged in the Skype lessons. And it just really makes our day fun. So I just encourage everyone to give Skyping in the classroom a try. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. You guys should see me. So if there are any questions about Skyping in the classroom, you're welcome to contact me. My name is Laura Ledbetter, and my email is LELEDBET, and it's at garlandisc.net. And if there are any questions right now, I encourage you to type them in the chat room, and we will try to get to those and answer those before this Skype ends, or before this Google Hangout ends, this webinar ends. And I'm going to go ahead and exit on my end, and we will still be hanging on for about 5-6 more minutes in the chat room area. And if you have any other questions, type them in, and Princess will be posting the Skype, or the credit, for the link for the CPE credit. So thank you again for joining us today. Bye-bye.